Hola, boa tarde from Portugal. Head gardener McGrady has disappeared on this rather balmy and humid afternoon in Lisbon. How is it in Devon in the UK, Anna?
It's not. It is feeling a bit warm actually. It's about 19 degrees. It's saying, and it looks like it's just thinking about stop. Well, it's saying it's currently raining. I can't actually hear any on the back porch roof, but it is looking a bit cloudy. But yeah, it hasn't been too bad temperature wise. So I wouldn't say it's cold.
We have a stormy atmosphere working its way up from the south of Portugal this afternoon. Anna, of course, from the Fresh Air team, we're encouraging people to get out and grow. And that's going pretty well. We've got some beautiful pictures in from Louise, one of our regulars this afternoon. So we'll show those later. Outdoor guy, head gardener McGrady, is truly outdoors and struggling to make a connection this afternoon. And the man of the moment, Tom Evans, who was going to be here this afternoon, is my mistake, actually. No, not Tom's fault at all. But this has been rescheduled for one reason or another. So we don't have Tom with us live to talk about his eco home, but we're going to talk about it anyway from the website of, what are they called? They are the NSBRC, the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre, the home of self-build, custom build and renovation. And we're going to be talking about this incredible little cabin house in Wiltshire in the UK. That's not to say similar things aren't available in Portugal. We just don't know anybody who owns one. If you do, you're very welcome to come and talk to us here on the Gardening Q&A, where we get a little bit eco from time to time. Head gardener McGrady doesn't like us talking about food too much, does he? As in cooking, the cooking side of things. This is a growing show, not a cooking show, he often says. But he may or may not join us, but we will be talking about Tom and Louise's house in Wiltshire. Who's in? Who's saying hello this afternoon? Lee McGrady is here in the comments, if not not in person on the screen. Good evening. I think he's going to sit this out and watch it and chip in via the comments. That's probably the best arrangement because we were struggling to have a decent connection with him, weren't we, Anna?
Yeah.
And colleague John is on holiday as well. He's in a part of. Let's see if we can do a bit of a quiz with this. He is in a place made famous by Wallace and Gromit in Yorkshire. I don't know if that comes to the top of your head, Anna.
I think I've got one that sort of vaguely coming to mind. I'm just trying to think if it's linked. If there's I was going to say a cheese connection. I think that's
yes,
that's the only place that's coming to mind.
Well said. Let's leave that cheese hanging there for a moment and see if anyone else can guess where John is on holiday this week. Evening all from Peter Bleach in central Portugal. Great thunderstorm here at the moment. Okay, so you've got the storm there already in that part of Portugal, Pete, in Castelo Branco. It's plumping up his oranges and olives. So I guess that's what storms are meant to do, aren't they? And just to bring moisture and drama across the hot landscape of Castelo Branco there. But Todos from Louise. Louise is joined this evening by her parents, Morris and June. Hello, Morris and June. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us with Paul, Louise and Lottie. Morris and June used to know Morris and June, who ran a pub, the New Inn, in Thames Ditton, I think, in Surrey. Different people, I'm sure. Live in a thundering and lightning central Portugal. So you got it there as well, Louise. Amazing. This is fantastic. Any pictures, anybody, of the storm? Send them in to the WhatsApp number. Let's get that on the screen. And this is, or you can call us, or preferably you can send in your pictures because I'm on, as you can see, I don't have my usual green screen backdrop. I am on location. We're live from Lisbon for a change this week. So pics and voice messages, 913-590-303. Before we go any further, what sort of week have you been having, Anna? A bit of a nightmare with Facebook, I believe.
Yes, it was. It's sort of gone from one extreme to the other, with a bit of a Portugal reference, I should add as well. For anyone listening, we had a good result. Well, I was going to say, although I've never actually lived in Manchester, for those who don't know, I'm a bit of a United fan, so I had a fine time watching. You could say history repeating itself, actually, but with Ronaldo being back, and he scored twice on his debut, which is awesome, and then it's been a sort of quietish weekend. I think I had a bit of a outing this afternoon, and it's my final kitchen shift in No Limits tomorrow, from what I understand. So I'm still doing the usual work experience, but I've been doing 6 or 8 weeks, I think, just doing a bit of the helping out in the kitchen. So that's finishing tomorrow, and had a certificate for that as well last week, which I didn't see coming, and yeah, it's just, and then hopefully keyboard lesson is back this week. There was a little bit of a is it, isn't it? So hopefully back this week, and I've still got the fun and games with my Tyrus as well. So my Tyrus is still being a tyrant and not working properly. So
is that your keyboard?
Yeah, I can give you a quick little preview if I am showing this the right way. Yes, I am. It's this little I say this little machine, but
live from the studio of
yes.
DJ Antics, who's been a bit frantic because of Facebook. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a temperamental keyboard there. You're so talented, so multi-talented, Anna.
Yes, and it's a bit more fun as well because the place I got it from isn't around in Exeter anymore, and it was independent, so it might be taking it somewhere else. But the fun I'm having at the moment, to the extent I can't actually really play it, is that some notes is in the sound is actually sticking. So you keep having to frantically play other notes to get it to stop, and other notes won't play anything. So I'm getting two problems sort of happening. I say simultaneously. It's a bit random at the moment, so it's making practice a little bit difficult.
You could always, why don't you just record a jazz album? Just leave the keys the way they are and come out with a sort of jazz concept album. I think a lot of people do. Yeah, excellent. Okay, and a little bit of a struggle. You got locked out of Facebook, but you're back on again, thankfully.
Yes, it was. It was one of those strange little pop-ups, and I didn't find out what happened if I pressed the other option because I didn't get that far. But it was the you press one thing or press the other thing, and it still does the same. So yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time trying to get that all sorted out, and yes, hopefully nothing else will happen as I frantically grab my desk.
What a week!
As the saying goes.
What a week! And how's that barista training going on? How are your cappuccinos and your lattes?
Yeah, not too bad. It's quite different working at two different places at the moment because obviously I'm doing the shift up at Ford Park Pavilion as well. So yes, that one is pretty much machine, and then the No Limits one is a little bit more hands-on, if you like. So yes, lots of lattes, cappuccinos, and Americanos, all that sort of thing, and just a bit of a test trying to remember which one's which now. So I'm still working on that. But
those coffee aficionados can get very snooty and upset about these things, can't they? But well done. Yeah, excellent. You are so multi-talented, as I said before. Talking of multi-talented, he's here. Has he found himself a decent connection? Head gardener McGrady, how are you?
I have stole the girlfriend's telephone, so I'm hopefully
seems to be working.
Volume's better. Good.
Yeah, that's so much better. We can't condone that sort of behaviour, but we're glad you've got a good connection now.
I asked permission first.
Okay. I'm glad we sorted that out. All right. Rebecca Joy saying the storm has started in Coimbra. This is so exciting. Blow by blow, flash by flash coverage of the storm brewing in Portugal. And it's a hello from Elaine. Why is he shaking his head? Hi.
We don't want it here. You can keep it.
Okay, no, he's not happy about that. Why not? It's good for the garden, isn't it, Lee?
I've got 3 solid days of work on, and what I don't need is heavy rain.
Okay, fingers crossed. Cross everything, everybody. So the head gardener is not disturbed in his work. Hi from me, from Elaine. Where's your neat background, Carl? Yes, on tour, Elaine. We are in Lisbon for a few days, very kindly using the office of dear friends here in the very trendy part of Lisboa, that is Beato and Marvila. Incredible part of town. I'll say more about it on the Good Morning Portugal show as the week unfolds. Hola, Carl and Anna, and I'm sure that extends to you as well, Lee, from Fiona and Simon, who are keen to get growing in Portugal. Pete, would love to show you my eco home, all run by solar, including the car, and with our own meat and vegetables. Well, eco meat, but usually work at this time on a Monday. Okay, Pete, a video would be awesome. I'm sure you are working on a video of that, and we would truly love to see it. We're going to look at one in the UK tonight, but definitely, Pete, if you'd be kind enough to send us some video, if you're busy at this time, it'd be marvelous. Pre-recorded is fine. Marty also here, getting chilly here in the Arctic. Yeah, he's actually in the Arctic in Alaska. Excited to hear of eco homes. Little doubt this sort of thing will become popular in Portugal. Yes, I think you're right, Marty. It takes so long to change the building industry, though, doesn't it? Nice to be here. No storm here as of yet. Anna, where are you? You're in the Algarve, I think, aren't you? Fiona Wall, is it with you yet? Evening, everyone inside, early hiding from the rain, accompanying a thunderstorm. So it's reached the Ribatejo Valley, I think. Congratulations, Anna, on your certificate. Well done on keeping the show going, even on your break in Lisbon. Absolutely, Pete. We're doing our best. And where's John tonight? That's a bit of a quiz. He is in a part of North Yorkshire, which is very beautiful and has been made famous by Wallace and Gromit. Answers in the chat, please. Okay. Who wants to see a bit of eco home action? Tom Evans. Oh, go on.
Just before you jump onto eco homes, I'd like to wish one of our regular guests, Jason, speedy recovery from his COVID. If you're listening, Jason, hope you get well soon, mate.
Yeah, indeed. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? He was describing his symptoms and he's isolating himself. Yeah, sounds grim. So, yeah, lots of love to you, Jason. Jason, of course, showed us his plot a few months back very generously, and it was really inspiring to see and very sad to hear of him being poorly at the moment. So lots of love to you, mate, from all of us on behalf of the whole community here. Good guess, Fiona. Eric Huizer is also here. Good evening to you, Eric. How are you doing? What's growing in your garden? Pippa Young, hi from Pippa to everyone. Our currency is called Pula, which is the same as for rain. It's so valuable. What an interesting way of naming a currency. And like, you know, the idea of the flow of money, sometimes a drought, sometimes a downpour. What a brilliant metaphor there. The Pula currency, that's in Botswana, I believe, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a quick look at Tom's eco home now then. As I said, Lee or Anna, jump in anytime with any questions. Anna, if you don't mind keeping an eye on the comments, feel free to jump in, interrupt with any questions that anybody's got, if you don't mind keeping an eye on that. In Brinkworth, Leicestershire, made famous by the national home of what self-building, custom building and renovation, that is the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre. We are looking at this, what's described as a self-build modern lodge style. Interestingly, work began in August of 2016. It was completed by June 2017. I'm thinking that start to finish. We won't dwell too long in these architect drawings because I don't think they mean a lot to anyone unless you are an architect. It was their first build and they were pleased to be on time and in budget. I think that's very uncommon in the building world, isn't it? We were among the first in the country to use a SunAmp heat battery powered by a 6 kilowatt solar panel. Okay, so this is going to be of interest to people. The homesteaders coming to Portugal and learning about this sort of technology. They were at the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre having a look, doing the research on this. And let's scroll down a bit more to find out about the journey that they went on. So they were looking, this is an interview from this website. We were looking to learn how to live a new lifestyle with less reliance on fossil fuels and to move out of busy southeast UK, southeast England, and to become mortgage free. We achieved all of this. Enviable stuff so far, right? Cost of the land, 120 grand for a plot of around 450 square meters. Head gardener, how many football pitches or fractions thereof would 450 square meters be? I can't see that in my mind's eye.
No, I can't either.
Anna, are you good on these things?
Not quite.
All pitch is 1.25 hectares, so it's. Oh yeah, I'll have to Google it.
All right, fair enough. If someone tells us the size of a football pitch in square meterage, that will give us a guide. But they've paid 120 grand for a plot of 450 square meters. I think you can buy land cheaper than that in central Portugal. And obviously, it's going to vary where you buy around Portugal. But I think if you are looking to self-build in Portugal, it's going to be a little bit more competitive than that. But obviously, it's a little, you know, with the population density and land at a premium in the UK, a little bit more expensive over there. So they went with Loxton. Shout out to Loxton's estate agents in Malmesbury, very beautiful Malmesbury. Our advice is to look closely at soil type. Oh, okay. As we had to contend with heavy clay. There's your first tip. Avoid clay. Makes the building heavy going, literally. Also, check if you have good access for deliveries that might be coming on an articulated lorry. Don't build in an ancient Portuguese village with little lanes, or beware of how your delivery is going to be made if you do. Did you have any issues getting your planning permission granted or with building control? Planning permission was in place for a number of lodges here on the site, and building control was very smooth. None had been built with eco in mind, with most gaining an EPC of C or less. Now, I think that's not so great, but Tom and Louise have raised the game on that, the bar. Why did you choose your method of construction? We chose ICF. We're going to find out what that is in a minute for the speed of build. Or Tom will come and join us next Monday if you've got questions for him. So bear this in mind. Tom will join us. He's out and about in his camper van. My mistake this week, but he will join us to answer questions, or just pop them in the comments and I'll send them to him. So a speed of build with ICF. So as well as guessing where John is this week, if you can tell us what ICF means as well, that'd be great. And relatively low cost in that particular methodology there. Did you use a project manager, or did you choose to self-project manage? They self-managed it. Now that's a recipe for baldness and grey hair, I suspect. Here are some pictures. There it is going up there. That's what ICF looks like, everybody. And let's scroll through a few of these pictures. So there's the build as it happens. Interesting construction there. Have you built at all, Lee, or have you strictly stayed in the garden?
No, I did a little bit of building, but only for myself. I did a couple of house renewals, and I built a home. Well, I converted an old barn stroke shed in Scotland into a bit of an eco home, but that was before it was fashionable. When
very good. Yes, ahead of that curve. I can imagine a nice little Hobbit tiny house.
I did a similar chicken shed to yours, but mine was made from solar panels on a trailer.
Really?
So so I could drag the solar panels around to catch the sun. It was good at the time. It was a good idea at the time.
That is a great idea. Just taking a break briefly from Tom and Louise's eco home. So let's get this right. You had a trailer style chicken house with solar panels on it, so that you could keep the chickens happy and safe and track the sun around the garden.
The cottage that I took on had really thick, heavy slate tiled, traditional Scottish slate roof, and there was no way I was going to damage it by putting solar panels on the roof. And if you know anything about Scotland, you've got to chase the sun. So I made a trailer with the solar panels mounted onto that, with the batteries underneath the solar panels, and then that was connected through into the house, which was connected to a forklift truck battery at the time.
Wow.
That's how I get me hand, and I could turn the panels around to catch the sun. It was very convenient at the time, and it was affordable. But that was when solar panels were really expensive, so maybe 17 years ago.
I thought you said in 1917 during the First World War.
17 years. 17 years ago. I took the house on 19 years. Did the trailer a few years.
Fantastic. Superb. Very inventive. Amazing. Thank you, Lee.
We also ran the on system at the time as well, which was very new at the time, and now it's really common. So,
what system?
Before my time, we ran the sewage system through a pond.
Okay. Reed bed.
Yeah, and I don't think very, very few people were doing it at the time, and so we were one of the first to try that out. And it works really well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, nature's way, isn't it? Modelling nature there. Fantastic. All right, back to Wiltshire. Unless we've got any comments, Anna.
Okay.
We've just had one in from Paul and Louise, I think, and yeah.
Go on, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. There's a bit too much Portuguese in there, I think. Something about yes. bit of money saving. I'm hearing about there. I think
that's Idania Anova. So they've been recently in a Diario Immobiliario for trialing low-cost eco homes. So there's a tip. That's great, Louise. Thank you for that. Idania Anova. And Diario Immobiliario is the property newspaper, I'm guessing. Anything else, Anna? Anything else come in from around the world this afternoon?
I don't think so. Just a few hellos, I think, so far, and haven't seen anything coming in on Facebook yet.
All righty. Okay, so let's go back to Wiltshire then, and the build here for Tom and Louise. And I think that's material I'm not familiar with, but there's some timber work going in for the roof, obviously there. Scrolling through their lovely pictures, great big patio doors there, letting a lot of light into the property. And this white material, like a breeze block that they're using here, is obviously of a high eco ethic and standard. It looks like grown-up Lego, maybe, which could be fun. Block work that looks quick to use, and obviously of an ecologically high standard. There we go. There's a nice long shot of the cabin. Which, if you go inside, I guess that could be a nice open plan living, or you can divvy it up exactly as you want it. And there it is, another look from the outside there. A little bit of render on the bottom of those big Lego bricks, and what are they called? Lats and battens going up on the outside to pin the cladding onto. And what looks like a slate roof on there, possibly a modern slate. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll probably find out by scrolling down and scrolling through. And look at the finish on that. From an outside that looks like that to some beautiful paneling like that, and a great big deck on the front there, and a beautiful balcony above. I wonder what the orientation of. I'm sure that's either to capture the sunrise or the sunset there. Fantastic. So what was your budget, and were you able to stick to it? We had a budget of 300 grand for everything, including decoration, furniture, kitchen, etc., and came in at 330,000. What is the value of the property now? Look at this, valued at over $500,000 at 590, nearly 600,000, and now on the market as we've embarked on a new refurb project in South Wiltshire. It might be on the market, folks. If you like the look of this, you can buy it. Did you reclaim the VAT? And this is, I don't know if you can do this in Portugal. We will find out from fellow builders, I think, on this journey of looking at eco homes here. They did, and they managed to save 4.5 grand on that. What aspects of the process did you find stressful? Okay, so this is what people need to know. The subcontractors we used for first fix onwards rarely put in what we would call a full day's work. We wanted to use local tradesmen, but we were somewhat disappointed at their speed and work ethic. Okay, interesting. And look at this nerve center of the building here. This is all the sort of the nerve center, isn't it, of all the technology that's in there, presumably for managing the whole climate of the building, the eco controls, if you like. What's your favorite, one of your favorite features about the project? 5.8, that triple glazed patio door there is 6 meters wide, a sliding door from Internorm, in case you're wondering where to get that from. And what did you tailor your home to suit your lifestyle? Well, yes, it was a second home at the time, say Tom and Louise, so we liked the fact there was no garden for minimal maintenance. Okay, a crime against gardening, Nelly. It's on a golf course, so we had 160 acres to wander around in. What? There's someone in the bed there.
Golf,
I think.
Golf.
Not not a fan. So here we are with the internal finishes here. Look at, oh, that's a lovely bath, isn't it? Oh, I say, very nice indeed there. Let's scroll through these at the interior finishes. Excellent stuff. It is big and open plan in there. Isn't that beautiful? Looking good. Oh, look at that. And yes, open plan staircase going up to the first floor. Lovely kitchen, studio style, all, yeah, open plan, and the living room as well. Very, very nice. I do like it. Now, some people eschew the open plan because it's going to be cold in the winter. Not with this house. I think highly insulated, and some screens there to give a little bit of privacy and break up the open plan dynamic there. Loving it. Look at this, Lodge 11 there on the golf course. Nice frosted window for a bit of privacy in that bathroom, and a little bit of glass work inside the staircase there to make it a little bit safer. Loving it. What does everybody think? And what a view. There you go. There's that beautiful view from the first floor balcony over the golf course. You can see people having a very stressful walk, as I think Lee put it earlier on. And I'm sure there's somebody in the bed under those covers. What do you think? Looks like, doesn't it? Okay, so final view then of Lodge 11 there. That's beautiful in all its glory. Solar panels on the side, Absolutely beautiful. Final question that they were asked, and this is the big question, I suppose, for people who've done this. Would you do it again? Yes, they say. We've bought a 1960s chalet bungalow with an EPC of E. Is that terrible? Which we are aiming to get to A or at least B EPC. That's amazing. So taking an E from the worst of the energy ratings to the highest. More importantly, we're now confident to look around at innovative cutting-edge solutions. So this time we're going out to tender on triple glazed windows and looking at infrared panels and new ceramic radiators for heating. So solar radiation converts directly to heat when needed. We'll also install a sun amp for hot water as before. Marvelous. Thank you so much, Tom and Louise, for giving us permission to talk about your home in this way and have a little look through the keyhole, as it were. Guys, what did you make of that, Anna? Did you enjoy that?
I did. I was just sort of looking. I was just sort of intrigued, just sort of seeing like the staircase. So I was just sort of looking at all the materials used and that sort of thing. And I was just thinking, does it? I was going to say, does it cost more to use natural materials or that kind of thing? But yeah, I can certainly see how it all works, and it sounds very, very efficient as well.
Yep, looks lovely. That's a really good point and good question, Anna, about the price of materials. I'm sure we'll come back to that. Lee, did you see yourself in a home of that kind? No garden, is there, for him? That's the problem.
A little bit big for me, but I mean, very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Garden. Unbelievable. But I think the technology now is racing away. From solar systems to underground heating systems. It's just getting better and better every year. So, and more affordable as well.
Yes.
So if you do a lot of the work yourself, you can save yourself a fortune and get a really good quality house for it.
Yeah.
And just going back to what we were saying before, a football pitch is 7,040 square meters. I googled it.
7,000. Okay, so it's quite a tiny footprint then. That at was it 450? I think, wasn't it? So
I think
not a massive.
I think I'm freezing up a bit.
You are, but we got the gist of that. So 7,000 square meters on a football pitch, and that one there was 450, I think. And I mean, there's no garden to it anyway. The floor area of it is 16 by 9 on the ground floor and 12 by 9 on the upstairs. So, okay, 2,500 square meters floor plan of that house there anyway. We are losing you a bit there, Lee. Let's see what's being said in the comments. And a bit clicky on his sound quality there as well, isn't he? We'll come back to you in a minute because we've got some beautiful gardening pictures. We'll try you again in a moment, Lee, with Louise's shots from the garden. If that house, says David Durham, has better internet, we should try to get Lee into it. Yes. Good point. And there was a question from Moving to Madeira, which is it correct there are grants of up to €7,500 per house for solar power, etc.? Is that in Madeira or is that Portugal as a whole? I haven't heard of that, but I think that'll be great news to some people. Thank you for that, Moving to Madeira. We need to talk. We need to get you on the show, don't we? What up, Fresh Air team from David Durham, recently in Portugal. Love this building, says Eric, but not enough money in his particular wallet there. Thunder, how are you? Did you like that? The look of that gaff, as we say in England. La Boutade from you. And Paul, Louise and Lottie, do you have a link? Okay, that's for those particular, the trialing of the low-cost eco-homes there in that part of central Portugal. If you can help us out with that, Louise, that would be awesome. Lovely house, but no garden. Yes, agreeing with Lee there. What else have we got? Yeah, agree, David, on the internet for Lee there. Should we have a GoFundMe for Lee's internet, maybe? Let's have a look at these beautiful pictures. Folks, if you've got any questions for the head gardener, get them in the comments now. But let's have a look at these. What do you think of these, Lee? Prize specimens. He's just clicking for us. He's not saying anything. He's clicking like a dolphin in appreciation, I think, there. But Louise, thank you so much, Louise. I'm going to mute his clicking for a minute. And We've got some beautiful squash there, white squash. Look at those. They are so sculptural and beautiful. Things of beauty there for the mantelpiece. Got anything to say about those, Lee? No. We'll have to have a crowdfunder for his internet, won't we? And some lovely tomatoes there from Louise as well. We've lost him. He's gone, everybody. But some beautiful crops there. How's your garden growing in Devon at the moment? And anything to speak of?
I'm just trying to think. It's certainly growing at the moment. Now the building work's actually finished. We're hoping to try and free up a bit more space outside the back door, because it's we've got everything was moved about a bit. But yes, we've got loads of we've got conifers sort of growing up the garden wall, which we've had since we've moved here, so easily 10 foot plus. So they're doing pretty well, and I think it's all doing pretty well at the moment, and just sort of trying to keep an eye on it when I can, if the weather allows, and all looking good. So we'll see. I'm probably going to see what the colours are like in autumn, no doubt, and that'll probably be starting up fairly soon, I think. So darker evenings.
That is the feeling in the UK. Somebody was saying on the morning show this morning that they've put the heating on, and that is often the kids go back to school and the heating comes on and autumn's on its way in the UK. Doesn't feel like that so much here today, although it's very stormy. Any progress, anybody, on this weather pattern that's coming up from the south of Portugal to the rest of us, and which Lee wants to avoid? To send in pictures, Pete, you just used a number on the screen there, 913-590-303. Fiona says, I'm about to order a new inverter and solar charge controller to hopefully get my setup functioning again. Might need to prick your brains a bit, Lee. Electricity things have always baffled me. Yeah, I think it's one of those things, isn't it? When you know how, it's fine, but it just seems like a complete, like, you have to be a professor of these things to get started at all. Although, as Lee says, it's all getting easier and more modular, isn't it? And you don't have to be an electrical engineer. Lee McGrady, sorry I dropped out. The Wi-Fi is letting me down. We did notice, Lee. We did notice some interesting concepts there. I like the building of your own house. Can't see there's the opportunities here in the UK, though, for smaller budgets. You're quite right. I mean, there are some cooperative approaches, but you're right. It's the price of the land, isn't it, that makes it difficult. You can build your own, as in, help yourself or others in a small community and work on each other's houses to do that, Fiona and Simon. But you've still got that big land cost that you're up against, which is one of the great advantages of coming to Portugal. Next week, I will try and send in some pictures of our tomatoes that will go from green with stripes to black once they're ready to eat. The Jal Tomate procumbens. That's Anna. Do you recognise that? Is that the Latin name of those particular bad boys?
I'm not entirely sure. No, I was looking at the last part of the word, thinking, is it anything to do with cucumbers at first? But obviously a new one for me, so I might have to do a bit of research.
Jaltomat procumbens. There you go. There's the tomato that is green with a stripe that goes black, a black tomato to eat. Eric, we'd love to see those. The number once more on your screen there, 913-590-303. The code for you for Portugal will be 351. And yes, Fiona, we can tell there's electricity in the air. You all keep jamming up tonight. Okay, so your Wi-Fi is playing up a bit as well, by the sound of it, in central Portugal, Ribatejo Valley. Give me a bell, Fiona, and we can have a chat about it. So even if we are jamming up a bit and it's not ideal, the broadcast quality tonight, we're still communicating in the comments there. What I forgot to ask you, Anna, I know you're equally as keen or more keen on the wildlife in your garden. Anything interesting in your garden from that point of view recently?
I think it's been a little bit quieter. I think we're occasionally getting occasional rodent paying a visit, but I haven't seen much in the way of woodpeckers or anything recently. So I don't know if it's because I put some different food out or anything like that. I did chop them up at the weekend, but I think we're getting most of the usuals turning up, and I did hear. I was almost wondering if it was a magpie or a squirrel actually at one point. I don't know if it had seen a cat somewhere and was sounding the alarm call like they do, but there was something really making a noise out the front at some stage. But I think it might have been a magpie actually. They tend to make quite a distinct sound. So
absolutely.
But not an awful lot of wildlife apart from that, I don't think. But always keeping a lookout and seeing what appears.
Yep, and we featured some of your video and stills of the wildlife in your garden. So please share more with us, Anna, from that point of view. Some British wildlife in your garden. And same, as well as produce, love to see pictures of wildlife on the show, on the Gardening Q&A for Get Out and Grow, which is every Monday evening. Head Gardener McGrady usually here. And we've lost him today. John's away on holiday this week. And we featured the Eco Home. We featured some lovely growing from Louise. I think we'll call it a day there. Or call it a night there for now, and just go and do a bit of storm watching. I think anyone in Portugal might like to stick their head out the window at the moment, not if it's flashing with lightning, obviously, but there is an incoming storm, the likes of which I feel quite excited about. I can certainly feel it in the air tonight, to coin a
Pretty Phil Collins.
Cue drum solo.
I was just thinking of the electrical storm all those years ago back here that time.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
And the first electrical storm I saw.
Yes, what with a storm but no rain, because that's bizarre, isn't it?
I think it was. It was. I think it was that one that I was seeing double flashes of lightning, and I remember. Good old George Hunt was being classic George. I can only say that.
You mean he was effing and jeffing? His language was a little colourful on that occasion.
Yes,
I think. Yeah. Okay. We get the gist of that. Red squirrels. Very interesting. A spotting of red squirrels that Fiona's talking about before we go, and Eric thanking us for it tonight. It's been a slightly different show, but thank you, Eric, for that. Really appreciate it. Ooh, saw a gorgeous jet black young red squirrel this week. Hold on a minute, Fiona. It's a red squirrel, but it's jet black. Interesting. And a mum and young with black and red markings in the tree behind the house I'm trying to buy. So blessed. Now, these have been in the paper. These red squirrels recently. I think that the police or the farming and agriculture department of Portugal proudly showing pictures of young red squirrels that have been born in Portugal. Fiona's actually seen them. If you can get photos for us of those, Fiona, that would be awesome. Obviously, there's a balance to be struck, isn't there, in disturbing the wildlife and getting some decent photos. And you know which side of that. I know which side of that you like to stay on. So if you can, that'd be awesome. Madeira. Say Fiona and Simon. I think that's about the subsidy, possibly. And Lee McGrady is sincerely hoping it's going to blow over tonight. He doesn't want his 3 days upcoming in the garden of intense work to be disturbed by a storm. Let's see what happens with that. Thank you all for being here this evening. Anything else from you, Anna, tonight?
I don't think so. We're always happy with any suggestions if you'd like us to feature anything I was going to say gardening related. Obviously that's what the group's here for, but if anyone's got any ideas on what you'd like, we're always happy to receive questions, photos and ideas. And thanks for all the input in the chat and the Facebook group as well.
Absolutely right. Well said. Pics and voice messages in one last time. 351, the Portugal code, 913-590-303. You've been brilliant. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Any questions for Tom about his house? He will join us. So send them to me, carl@expatsportugal.com. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy the storm watching if that's what you're out doing here in Portugal. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.